In 2023, researchers in South Africa set up speakers at a watering hole in Kruger National Park. They played the sound of a lion growling. About half the animals ran. Then they played the sound of people talking. Just regular conversation, not yelling, not hunting calls. Just humans chatting. 95% of the animals fled. Twice as fast as they ran from the lion. Think about that for a second. A lion can kill you in under 10 seconds. A human standing there talking about the weather should be nothing. But to every animal at that watering hole, a human voice was the most terrifying sound on Earth. Why? That's what this video is about, and the answer is nothing you'd guess. The most obvious explanation: we hunt them. Humans have been killing animals for 300,000 years. We've driven entire species to extinction. It makes sense that animals would learn to avoid us. But there's a problem with that theory. In 1835, Charles Darwin stepped onto the Galápagos Islands, and something bizarre happened. The birds didn't fly away, the iguanas didn't move. He walked right up to a hawk and it just sat there. He wrote that he could have knocked it off its branch with the barrel of his gun. These animals had never seen a human before. No hunting, no farming, no contact of any kind, and they weren't afraid. So fear of humans isn't something animals are just born with. It has to be triggered by something. But here's the strange part. On mainland Africa, animals that have never been individually hunted, that have lived in protected parks for generations, are still terrified of human voices. No one alive has ever chased them. Their parents were never chased. Their grandparents were never chased. And yet they run. So it's not simply hunting. Something deeper is going on. Maybe it's our size. We're tall. We walk upright. We look different from anything else in the savannah. Except an elephant weighs 6 tons. A Cape buffalo can flip a car. A grizzly bear can crush a bowling ball. And all of them are more afraid of a human voice than a lion roar. Researchers tested this directly. They played recordings to animals across dozens of species. Large animals, small animals, predators, prey. The result was the same almost every time. Human voices triggered faster escape responses, longer flight distances, and more total abandonment of food and water sources than lions' sounds. An elephant, the largest land animal alive, ran from the sound of a person talking. So it's not our size. It's not our numbers. It's not even our weapons. What is it about us? Here's where it gets interesting. In the same experiments, researchers also played the sound of gunshots and barking dogs. Gunshots. The literal sound of being killed. Animals reacted to gunshots, but less than they reacted to human voices. Let that sink in. The sound of a bullet being fired was less frightening than the sound of 2 people having a conversation. This is the clue that breaks open the real answer. Because it tells us something critical. Animals aren't reacting to danger. They're reacting to unpredictability. A gunshot comes from one direction. It happens once. You can locate it, process it, and decide. But a human voice. That's different. That means a human is nearby. And a human nearby means anything could happen next. Scientists have a name for this. They call it the landscape of fear. And the reason humans dominate that landscape has nothing to do with strength. It has everything to do with how we hunt. A lion hunts one type of prey. It hunts at specific times, in specific places. Using specific methods, an antelope can learn the pattern. When it's noon and there's no tall grass nearby, relax. Low risk, humans break every one of those rules. We hunt any species, at any time, in any place, using methods that change every generation. A study published in Science found that humans kill adult prey at a rate 14 times higher than any other predator. We hunt large carnivores at 9 times the rate carnivores hunt each other. And we don't just kill to eat. We kill for fur, for sport, for territory, for no reason at all. The result? Animal brains cannot build a prediction model for humans. A lion is a math problem, scary but solvable. Stay alert, read the wind, watch the grass. A human is chaos. There is no pattern to learn, no safe time, no safe place. No behavior that guarantees survival. So the brain's default response? Fear, always, everywhere. That's not a reaction. That's a strategy. And here's where it goes even deeper. This fear didn't just develop, it was written into DNA. When ancient humans crossed into Australia 50,000 years ago, the continent's megafauna collapsed within a few thousand years. Giant wombats size of cars, marsupial lions. A 7-meter lizard called Megalenia, marsupial lions. Gone. When humans reached the Americas, the same thing happened. Mastodons, giant ground sloths, saber-toothed cats, 70% of large mammals disappeared. It happened on every continent, in every climate. The only variable that predicted mass extinction was one thing: the arrival of humans. The animals that survived were the ones that learned to be afraid before it was too late. And they passed that fear down, not through stories, through genetics. Researchers call this epigenetic fear response. Animals that survived human contact didn't just teach their offspring to be cautious. Their offspring were born afraid. The stress hormones of the parent altered the gene expression of the child. And over thousands of generations, fear of humans became the default setting for almost every species on Earth. Think about what that means. You walk through a forest today. Birds go quiet. Deer vanish. Even animals that have never been harmed by a person react to you like you're the most dangerous thing alive, because to them, you are. Your species earned that reputation over 300,000 years. And every animal on this planet still remembers. But there's one exception. One species that made the exact opposite choice. About 15,000 years ago, a handful of wolves looked at the most dangerous predator on Earth and walked toward it. They didn't run. They didn't hide. They offered something no other animal ever has: cooperation. And in exchange, humans gave them food, shelter, and protection. But there was a price. Over 15,000 years, humans reshaped every part of them. Their skulls, their teeth, their behavior, their instincts. Today, a golden retriever shares 99.9% of its DNA with a wolf. But it couldn't survive a single winter alone. Every other animal on Earth runs from us. Dogs are the only species that bet the other way. And whether that was the best decision or the worst decision in evolutionary history, well, ask a wolf. Every time you walk outside, you're surrounded by animals that have been afraid of your species for longer than civilization has existed. Not because you're loud, not because you're big. Because 300,000 years ago, your ancestors became something the natural world had never seen before. A predator with no pattern, and nothing has figured out how to stop being afraid of that.